Welcome back to the Court of Swords. Adam, talk dirty to me about insects, Adam.
Did you see the picture that I posted of him? It's a big, long.
I'm not gonna click that. I've already learned to not click your goddamn links. All right.
Well, all right. So you've killed four of the bugs, and now all that's left are John, Paul, George, and Ringo.
There you go.
And they're pissed. So Baron, what do you want to do?
All right. I will go ahead and swing my hammer at the one to the right of me.
Okay. Good luck. Yeah, you get him.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah, roll your damage.
7. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, 7 is definitely enough to smash this creature. So what once was a bug is now some orange paste on the ground, little bits of bug shell everywhere. There are three of these beetles remaining, and I'm going to attack you with them. So here we go. Velimir, 13 or better to hit. One bug. A crit. For 6 damage.
Are you dead?
No, I think I'm. No, how much do I have left?
You have 1 HP?
You have exactly 6.
1 HP. No, I have exactly 6.
You have exactly 6.
Down by some fucking bitch ass beetles.
I mean, it wouldn't
together and buzzed ever so fervently. Like
it wouldn't be a battle without Velimir unconscious on the ground.
My AC is bullshit. Okay.
So Velimir, these beetles, they're on you. They're trying to bite you. Most of the time, they're biting spots that are armored. But one of them, maybe you turn to get your knives up to block you against one, and the other one crawls underneath part of your leather armor and just digs his mandibles into your neck. There's a hot spurt of blood, and down you go. One of them, I guess that was my first attack. So the other one, God, do I be a dick? Would it bite you? Yeah, I think they're all going at once. So the other one bites you. So just automatically mark a failed death save.
Fantastic. I swear to fucking Christ, if you kill me with fucking bugs.
So Baron, you see Velimir go down, and these things are just chewing on him and like eating up little bits of his blood as it spurts out of his neck. Yeah. And then one of them attacks you in your shiny armor and misses. Yeah.
Okay.
See, Baron and I know to make characters with high AC, and because of that, we don't fall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop. I'm done.
Did you roll your character too? You just like you didn't like armor class is affected. What goes into making your armor class?
I don't wear armor, but it's because my con and dex combine together, and I have a shield for an extra 2 AC.
Yeah.
And Baron just has high AC armor. He has heavy armor.
Mm-hmm. Do rogues even use shields?
I think rogues.
I don't think you can.
Oh, you can't spec.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay, so death saving throws. If you take any damage at 0, you suffer a death saving throw, and it wasn't from a crit.
Can't rogues dodge? Don't rogues have the dodge ability?
There's a full defense you can use, but he's only level 1, so don't worry.
Yeah, maybe you get that at 3 or 2 or something like that.
I know you get something really defensive too.
Yeah, it makes people like have disadvantage in attacking you or some shit.
I'm just imagining like in this reality, like every now and then Valimir's just like really fucking cool, and, like roguish, like sly and
yeah.
I mean,
every other he gets fucking down by beetles.
I think that's kind of the level 1 rule.
Yeah, I know it is the level 1.
Yeah.
All right, cupcakes. Let's save the chatter for after the battle. Zafira, I assume you want to pull yourself across.
Yep.
As your action. Okay. So
yeah,
Zafira,
I untie the rope behind the tree and maybe just like use both and just try to get out across as fast as possible. But I assume it's going to cost the round anyways. Yeah.
So you get to the other end and you jump off the rope. It is Velimir. It's your turn to make a save. Yeah, for folks who are asking, because the beetles all go at once, he wasn't unconscious sort of technically when the second beetle attacked. So there's some time stuff going on there. That's why I didn't say it's a crit and you take 2. So he just took 1 from the hit. But next time, if these beetles both keep chewing on him, then he'll definitely be dead. But go ahead and make your death save, Velimir.
What do I need to roll higher then?
It'll be a 10 or higher.
If you roll a 1, you actually die right now.
Yes, if you roll a 1 now, you're dead.
No
I'll
pressure.
just let that sink in for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, 16.
Mark one success. You are not out of the jungle yet. Baron, it is your turn. What would you
Okay.
like?
First thing I'm gonna do is swing at the bug next to me with my hammer.
Right. I see where you're going. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, click the wrong one. Okay, there we go. Ugh.
Ooh, no dice. All right. So you're maybe distracted by what you're planning to do next.
Yeah, I'm distracted by seeing him go down. That it just throws my off my swing completely. As I'm swinging, I see him go down, and it catches my eye. And then I use my bonus action to cast Healing Word on him.
Why do you have a skull over me? I'm not dead yet.
You're dead-ish. Okay.
Heal for 9.
Nice. Okay.
Damn. That ability
Did
is
you just heal
fucking
me?
sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, I'm
For
back.
9, you're like back to almost full.
Temperance has you, my child.
Yeah. So Baron, you're
Let me in.
You're obviously focusing more on the words of your prayer. It's kind of a perfunctory swing at the beetle just to try to keep it back, and then you feel the healing power of temperance well up in you.
Healing Word's a bonus action?
Yes.
God, that's fucking good.
Yeah, it is.
That's so good at level 1.
Especially as a life
The
cleric.
reason why I'm alive.
That's saving
Twice
the
it's
party
happened.
right now.
Yeah. So it's 1d4 plus your wisdom bonus plus an additional 3 because Baron is a life cleric. So it's my turn. Let's see if I can knock Velimir back down.
No.
2 attacks on Velimir.
He would be attacking Baron, who just fucking boiled him.
They're still on you. You're lying down.
This is bullshit and you know it.
Killed you. You wake up covered in bugs, and they're chewing on you. So let's take a look here. So, okay, miss for the first one. Rolled a 2, and the second one.
Fuck you, Adam.
So I rolled another crit. So Velimir, you take. Okay, you only take 4 damage.
Oh God.
All right, so you're getting chewed on. How many hit points do you have now? It's a roller coaster of motion here. So you take 4 damage. Yeah, you're down to 5.
5.
All right, Zafira, it's your turn. What do you want to do? You want to try and save your friends? They're Big Blue.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'll rage and jump into action and attack this one. I can't ping. Attack that one right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you can occupy the same space as them because they're the ones that are dead. So just feel
Great.
free
Yeah,
to.
so I jump in there, attack that one with the scimitar. Here's the attack.
Okay, and this is your last rage before you get another rest, right?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I miss. I roll an 8.
All right, lash out with your scimitar. Twee spends her turn screaming, not like in terror, but screaming at you like "kill it, kill it, kill it!" like people do sometimes when they see like a spider. Only these are huge. So she's just shouting and like holding her head and like pointing and freaking out, and her brother's crying and hiding. Velimir, it's your turn. You're on your ass. What do you want to do?
Want to get off my ass.
Okay, so that costs half your movement, but I don't think you're going to go anywhere after this.
No.
You want to attack, I presume.
Yes.
Okay. Please do.
Do we get a
now-
attack because they don't expect an attack from me?
You can sneak attack that one right
Yeah.
ahead of you.
Yeah.
Fear is also
I'm
fighting
gonna
it.
do that. All right, short sword. Let's do it. Boom. Here we go. Roll some fucking hits. All right. There it goes.
Hey.
Yep.
Good.
Yeah, you hit.
Shit.
Roll your damage and then roll your sneak attack. Okay.
All right.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
you
Yes.
murdered that thing. Cool. Yeah. So the bug sees Zafira, comes up and takes a swing at it. So it kind of turns its attention towards her, and then you use that opportunity to stab it with your short
Yeah.
sword.
When that one falls, I'm just kind of, thank you. I was tired. Pull it.
Right. Yeah. Probably get some rope burn on your hands.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one more bug if you want to make that offhand attack.
Yep. Going with the dagger.
Okay.
All right. And dagger.
Oh, good.
There you go. Okay, roll damage. Nice. Okay, so that one's almost dead. You shove the knife into it, spurt of blood, but it doesn't go down quite yet. Baron, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
All right. Baron sees him get up and then see another vicious attack on his friend. So instead of swinging his hammer at the one near him, he's going to cast Sacred Flame on the one next to Velimir to try to save him instead.
Okay, now the only disadvantage here is that you will have disadvantage because you're still in melee with the nearest.
It's a saving throw spell, so I don't actually.
So it doesn't matter. There you go. That's right. I always get that one and the other one, Guiding Bolt, mixed up. So yeah, cool. All right, so it needs to make a save or take 4 radiant damage. Let me roll this. What kind of save is it? Dex? Yeah,
Dexterity.
All right, survey says no dice.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah, it goes up in smoke. You just roast it. Roast bug, no problem. Cool. Yeah, so in Temperance's golden light, the beetle just comes apart.
It shines brighter than the glow of the bug itself and just destroys it.
Totally. Just like crank the exposure all the way up and it disappears. All right. There's one lanternfly remaining, and it's going to attack. It will attack you, Baron. And it misses. That sweet armor. Zafira, your turn.
That would have hit me.
How far is that one? It's 15 feet, yeah. So I go next to Baron and then try to strike him with the scimitar. 13.
Yep, that's a hit.
Great. For 9 damage.
All right, you kill it.
Yay.
All of the beetles are dead.
So yeah, I stab it with the scimitar almost into the ground, and then just immediately look up into the forest and be like, where's the child gone? Or where have the children gone?
Yeah, and so you can see over by this fallen log, Twee standing in front of her brother, like taking huge kind of like gulping breaths, and kind of like looking around panically, like hoping that there aren't any more bugs.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just like, they are all dead, child. Now please do not ever stop doing what we tell you to do in the future. You almost cost poor Velimir his life here.
She takes a couple of deep breaths and she's like, no, I don't like insects. Those things are horrible. Thank you for killing them. And she's like addressing you specifically alone. Like she just looks at you and is like, yes, thank God's for you. Like
You go.
you saved me.
welcome."
Sophia.
Directly to her and say, "You're welcome."
I'm glad
How
you
does she
got it.
react?
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She's just kind of like trying to calm down. And once the immediate threat is gone, she turns her attention to her brother and is like calming him down. Like, it's okay. You see, it's fine. And so the two of them are just kind of like having this little conversation over there.
I'm glad you got here, Zafira. These things were bugging us.
I turn to Baron and
I
say,
hate you.
Temperance preaches to shut up, Baron. And I just like walk over to the tree and start wheeling in the rope and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Collecting it
cool.
all and divvy that up to. I keep wanting to say
Almost died
Vesemir
there,
as well.
man.
To Velimir and Baron.
Really beetled the shit out of me.
Yeah, then I hand the rope back and say we should continue and try to get as much distance out of today.
Yeah, and she looks. Twee looks into the bushes and says to Zafira, she's like, do you think there are more?
There are always more of anything if you look hard enough, but we're not going in the forest. We're going to stay on the road.
She nods. Okay, so you wanna set out on the road again, or do you wanna rest here, or?
Would these creatures have anything of value for us, like in their nest or anything?
Yeah, I
Make
guess.
it-
Go ahead.
Go ahead and you can make a nature check if you just want to like examine their bodies.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, killing it, Baron. All right,
Shit, with that 20.
So these lanternflies, they're not just called that because they glow. They have like, if maybe some of them might be unpunctured, but in their abdomen they have a little organ, like a gland, and if you can cut it out of them without basically breaking the seal on them, you can use them as a little like lantern or a glow orb. It only works once. Basically, you cut them out and then you shake them, and the stuff will get mixed. The goop will get mixed up, and they'll glow. And then if you throw them, they'll pop and cause like the thing you throw them on to stay glowing. Yeah, they won't have loot. They don't like gather stuff. They just make these ground nests out of chewed up bark.
Okay.
Do you want to try to dig up some of those bug bomb things?
Yeah, we should dig up a couple of these the glands from these things, because they could come in handy if we never need light in the dark, especially for the children with us.
Perhaps Velimir will enjoy destroying these creatures more so after they knocked him out. Or I can do it. It is up to you.
Like you're like, oh, maybe Velimir feels bad. We should let him cut them.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. You do it.
All right. And then I go around, collect all the corpses. I guess I could use the hand axe to like crack open the beetle shell, then spread them apart and do my best to try to save all the glands. Do I need to make a dex roll?
No, I'll just roll a number to tell you how many you get.
Okay.
So under Baron's guidance, you're able to get 3 of them.
Great.
And from a mechanical perspective, yeah, you can shake them and they turn into essentially like sort of slightly weaker torches. So you can carry that around. Or if you throw them on someone and they pop, if you hit somebody with them, everyone who attacks them for a full turn gets advantage, kind of like a miniature fairy fire.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, so you have 3 of those. Each of you can take one or whatever.
Okay. I think I go and give one
out because you're hitting him with a fucking gland. Who fights like that?
I think I go over to Twee and say and like kneel down in front of her and like hold the gland in front of her and you say, "See, they're not all bad. This bug has given us light. If you simply shake this up, it'll light the area around you and perhaps give you guidance. They're not all bad things, Twee."
She like wrinkles her nose at it and she's like, "It's disgusting." And she looks over and Samnung is like playing with some of the orange goo and like drawing on his face with it. And she's like, "Get away from there!" And like goes over to push him away from it.
I'm just like, you need to be more like your brother, Twee. He seems to not mind these creatures, and that would be fantastic. Like I put the gland in my bag.
Yeah, and she's like spitting on the edge of her like little cloak thing and like wiping his face.
Yeah. All right, I say we're going to move along now, Twee. Please collect your brother. I turn to the rest of the other 2 and say, like, "Are we ready?"
Yep.
Yes, we should head out.
All right, we start walking down the road again.
Okay. How are you feeling there, Velimir?
Not fucking good.
Okay. So I was gonna suggest a short rest, but you don't have any hit dice because you didn't actually get your long rest. So
Yeah.
probably best to just press on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Cool. So you carry on. The road from here is like still pretty swampy. Like you wouldn't have a wagon on this road. It would sink in. But on foot, it's not bad. You have to spend some time like kind of hopping from dry land to dry land. But overall, the area is much swampier than it should be this late in the year. Baron, you've got the highest nature skill, I think, you or Velimir. But anyway, everybody recognizes that there's something funny going on. The water table is a lot higher than it should be at this point in the season of fire. This area gets flooded in water, but otherwise there's something else happening here. And you press on up the road until night falls. And you all start to get tired. Velimir, you've been tired for what feels like your whole life now. But it starts to get dark. People's stomachs start to grumble. And Twee notices the sun setting, and she says, "Maybe we should camp."
Can you walk a little further today? We need to make up for all the time lost at the swamp.
She nods. She says, "If you're worried about those creatures coming out," looks around. "Once it's dark, it'll be easier for them to ambush us. We should stop and light a fire. I'm not tired." She looks pointedly at Velimir, "But maybe someone is."
I look over to Velimir and I say, "Is the kid correct?"
Yes.
So Velimir, we get a moment where we see Velimir, and You can describe what your facial expression and stuff looks like, but you're covered in mud.
Yeah.
And your own blood, and like now faded into this congealed brown pudding, like bug goo. Plus, you have a really bad rash under all the mud, and you haven't slept.
Subsiding.
Yeah, your rash is. It's not. It doesn't. The ointment doesn't get rid of the rash. It just makes it not itch. Yeah, you look like garbage. But what does your face look like when you?
As she's saying this, and like says perhaps someone is. I'm just like. And then I look at Zafira, and she says, "I'm just like, yes, I could use a rest." And I just kind of like look at myself, and I'm just like,
Okay, I turn to Baron and just like, we should prepare camp here. I believe the child is correct.
Yes, and I think our poor friend Velomir here definitely needs a rest.
I am not proud. I need to sleep.
Okay. Yeah, we do the same thing. Velimir, could you prepare traps like you did? It actually saved us, I believe, last night.
I will do what I can.
Then we'll let you sleep first, Velomir.
No.
Okay.
Walk off with Velomir to do my trap thing.
You set the traps before you rest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a nature check, or actually, what is it? Survival, I think, for setting traps. Yeah, make a survival check.
They're the best fucking traps ever.
Well, it's an 11 because you're still tired.
I fucking hate this game.
Oh boy, players get excited, and then I just take it away. An 11's not bad. It's still slightly above average. Okay, so you set these traps, and you light a fire, throw some of the insect repellent leaves on them, and everybody settles in to rest. And you were saying Velimir is gonna take the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should sleep first since he's the most injured.
Okay. Rolling dice for no reason. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Velimir, can you roll a perception check, please?
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Got a 12. And on the die that I rolled, I got a 13. Okay, great. So anyway, everybody rests. The night goes on. None of the traps are triggered. And I think partway through the night, like maybe just as Velimir, as you're waking up, Twee wakes up. Maybe like, whoever wakes you up makes a little bit of extra noise.
Yeah.
And and Twee wakes up, like sits up, like rubs her eyes, looks around, realizes it's not morning yet. And the two of you, like, rather than just go back to sleep, she gets up, she goes out into the like near woods and to pee, and then comes back. And she's like taking a drink from a water skin and just kind of like staring at you as you're sitting by the fire.
So we're just the two awake right now?
Yeah, just the two of you. Everybody else is sleeping. Her brother's snoring loudly nearby.
First and foremost, am I healed?
No, because
no, we're fine. Okay, it's just a little. I motion to the kid as I sit down, or like kind of sit up, dust myself off. I'm just like, child.
She looks over at you.
Thank you for telling them to rest. I know you still don't like me, and I still don't like you, but I appreciate it, even if you will not admit it.
She kind of like looks at you funny, and she's like, "It's not that I don't like you."
And what is it?
She just says, she looks around like at the jungle. She's like, "It's just you're not from here. And sometimes to learn, bad things have to happen to you. Plenty of bad things are happening to you, so you must be learning fast."
I see. Did you do the rash? Was that you? Tell me honestly. I won't get upset.
She laughs and she grins at you and she says, "Even if I did, there's no way for you to prove it. The way you've been bumbling through the jungle, you could have rubbed yourself on the wrong plant 10, 15 times. You're lucky you haven't woken up with a scorpion in your pants. That happened to my cousin once."
That is all I needed to know. I am not upset.
She walks over and like she takes a couple of steps towards you, and she looks down at like some article of like your clothing, like your cloak or something. And she's like, your cloak is torn.
Yes. Do you know how to sew?
She nods. Of course I do. I could fix it for you.
You didn't know how to swim, so I don't know. He says kind of playfully.
Yeah. She sighs and she's like, if I had fallen into the water, I would have gotten clean and could have made my way to the other side. If you fell in the water, what would have happened? Poof, smoke. No more Velimir.
That is not how it works.
She kind of looks at you. She's like, really?
Yes.
She points the end of her water flask at you and squeezes a bunch of water in your face.
Velimir just laughs.
Yeah.
At this point, he's like so fucked up that actually feels nice.
Yeah. She sprays water in your face and then kind of nods and she's like, huh, okay.
See, look, still here. And thank you, by the way. I feel like shit. That felt great.
Yeah. She just shrugs. She's like, all right. And she walks over to the little like shoulder bag that she's been carrying around and she pulls out a needle and thread and sits next to you and like sews your cloak. And while she's doing it, she's humming to herself and sewing along with the like sort of beat of the song that she's humming.
That song, what is that? I have never heard before.
Yeah, she looks over at you. She says, my aunt taught it to me after my mother went away the first time. It's a working song. It helps focus long, boring work.
Velimir's just like, would you like to see something cool?
She like looks up at you. I'm like, what?
Velimir takes his hand and like covers it just so only she can see.
Mm-hmm.
Like covers what he's about to do so as to not emit a whole bunch of light.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so just kind of start with a little bit of sparks and stuff, and the sparks start to change different colors, like flashing, like in all sorts of different, like clearly for show, not or anything like that. And the flame goes up, and it starts really small and blue and dim, and then as it gets larger and larger, it gets green, and then it snuffs out with like a really big spark. You know, it's just that he's just stuff he was taught.
Yeah, when that happens, it startles her. Like she pulls back a little bit and laughs, and then does that thing where when people get surprised and then feel embarrassed about being surprised, they like giggles. She like laughs into her hand and looks at you, and she says, "Not very useful, but pretty. Hey, like you."
Good one.
Yeah, and she just like keeps humming and nodding, and she's like smiling, and you can see like as she gets close to finishing stitching the edge of your cloak, it's like yawning and kind of stretching, and puts down the cloak and looks at you, and she says, "I'm going back to sleep."
This is wise.
She looks around.
Be
Careful.
You do good by your brother. Keep him safe. I will help keep you safe. I still don't like you.
She laughs. She's like, it's okay. I don't like you either.
Like, go to sleep. And I'm just, Velimir kind of just takes this, looks around, stuff. Actually, I guess, you know, he would probably do a little perception. I mean, nothing's probably happening right now, but trying to see what's up just to make sure that the coast is clear.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Even through your exhaustion.
17.
Yeah. As far as nights spent lying on the road in the open jungle go, it's pretty good. Everything's like nice and quiet. The moon is above. It's not raining, which is nice, and it's still early enough that it isn't insanely hot even at night. The leaves are keeping the bugs away, and the smell of them burning is actually kind of pleasant. So everything's sort of chill.
Yeah. Once he's realized the coast is pretty, clear. Just tries to get back to sleep again, dusts himself off, and fashions his little bedroll or whatever he's sleeping on.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. So, yeah, you actually get rest. You get to sleep, and you can get rid of your exhaustion.
Thank you so goddamn much.
You get
I've had that thing forever.
You've had it for, of the 12 hours or 11 hours of show, you've had it for about 4.
Ridiculous.
So you get everyone gets all their hit points back. You get your hit dice recovered. And you get, maybe most importantly, a good night's sleep. So
we get our hit points recovered. Is that what?
Yeah, you're at full hit points.
Cool. Nice.
And do we get our experience from the fight?
Yes, that's right. So for overcoming the road puddle with such panache and aplomb, you get 25 experience apiece.
Nice.
And then for the bugs, everybody gets another 27. So you'll get 52.
So we're at 134.
Sick.
Cool. All right. So you all rest. So the next morning, you awaken to a sort of early summer rainstorm. There's a hot rain that's starting. You expect it'll pick up as the day goes on, but for now it's just sort of a drizzle. It's a swampy kind of hot rain coming down on you, and and you can set out into the jungle if you like. Is there anything you want to do?
Into the jungle or on the road?
Yeah, I mean the road goes through the jungle.
Okay, yes. We want to
Not
go on.
directly.
Please, Adam, please. We're going on the road.
You set off directly into the jungle.
Right to the
I
mystery.
love the jungle.
Yeah. So so the day passes uneventfully, and as long as you stay on the road, another 2 days go by. So you're within a few days of the village, Sufantin. And I think you're coming up out of a sort of lowland area. The jungle's beginning to thin a little bit. Things have been travel's been going more smoothly than closer to the village. Life has sort of started to pick up. It's drying out a little bit, and you I think at this point you see maybe before you get to it, you see the top of its head. There's a big stone statue, and you remember it from your way in. It's of some saint or another from a long time ago, sitting cross-legged where two sort of paths converge on their way to Sufantin. So it's this big, 15-foot stone statue. Its surface worn by rain and by wind and by water and by the hundreds of years that it's been here. So you see that in the distance as a marker that you are, just a few days shy of the village. It's a place where people often stop and rest.
I asked Twee. I say, Twee, have you seen this before? Have you been this far away from your village?
She shakes her head.
Yeah, I tell her and her brother kind of the story of basically everything you just said, like why this exists and. That many people see it as, or act reverent around it, and see it as kind of a not necessarily a holy place, but a place of rest and not one to incite combat or anything like that.
Yeah, she asks you. No, you tell that story, and she asks Bairn. She says, "Who is it a statue of?"
Do I recognize the statue?
You can make a history check if you want some more infos.
Okay. Nope.
Okay. Yeah, you're not sure because no one in the monastery ever told you the story, or if they did, you've forgotten it. But yeah, you've no idea. But that's not just you forgetting. Most people don't know.
I don't recognize the statue, child, but usually a statue is in honor of someone very important to a town's history.
So she nods just sternly and she's like, "So, like a king?"
It can be, or just someone who's done something very good for a village and they want to be remembered.
I kind of chime in and say, perhaps we will return to your village and create a statue for the mighty warrior Twee, who defended it until it fell.
She scowls at you like she thinks you're making fun of her.
Oh, perhaps your brother then. Perhaps your brother should have the statue. I kind of look at him. You would like a statue, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the fact that you're addressing him directly is making him uncomfortable, so he just kind of stares at you.
Okay.
Like how kids do sometimes. You're like, "What's your favorite color?" And they're just like,
Right.
Yeah. So I think Twee takes your hand, Baron, and kind of like pulls you, and she's like, "Come on, I want to see it before it gets dark." And, like tries to like hustle everybody up so she can go see the statue.
All right, child, we can go see the statue.
Okay, so you head that way. You should definitely make it there before nightfall. And I think that when you get within kind of like eyesight of the statue, maybe you see its knee kind of sticking out into the path. It's here when one of you notices. I think probably Bairn. You hear someone talking. You hear a human voice. It's quiet. And it breaks the jungle noise. Like you recognize it as being a different sound. So you can hear voices. There's at least one person, maybe more, up ahead.
Tweet. Shh. I hear something.
She stops and immediately takes her machete out.
Yes, be very quiet. And I signal to the others behind us that shh. And I hear talking.
Yeah, I draw my blade and say to Velimir, I believe it's your turn. And kind of like motion my head up ahead. Oh, what did you say?
Velmir's like, are you sure you don't want to come with?
I will join you, but not at first. You know this routine. A scout's a scout, a soldier's a soldier.
All right, I'm going up.
This happens a lot with Zafira and Velimir. Velimir has to go to the club and get up in the line, and then 20 minutes later, Zafira rolls up. Hey, what's up, buddy? Thanks for waiting in line for me. Got a hot dog in your hand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so Velimir, you want to sneak up?
Yeah, I was gonna roll stealth just to see what's going on.
Okay, yeah, do it. Okay, 11. Let's see. Okay, so you start to get closer. You can hear the voices once you do. Everyone's service quieted down, but they're speaking quietly enough that all you hear is that there are voices.
Mm-hmm.
And then
human voices. Mm-hmm.
Maybe, yeah. It's hard to say what language they're speaking.
Yeah.
And then there's like a quiet, and someone whispers. You can hear like whispering, like kind of like shh, quiet, and then like some like, and then someone, a man's voice, speaks up in common, and he says, "It's like no need to hide. Like, come on out where we can see you."
Velimir kind of waits for a sec. It's like, who are you?
Okay. Yeah, so this you can see now, like someone steps out into the road, and it's like quite an old man. He's probably like 70 or so. He has these very plain kind of like almost like rag like robes, like the edges of them are all torn, and he's got a leather sash with a bag on the end, and he's leaning heavily on a stick, like a walking stick.
Mm-hmm.
He's bald and has a long gray beard. I mean, he steps out into the road and kind of like covers his eyes from the sun, and like he's trying to spot you.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "It's like, is that a Wands accent I hear? Haven't seen anyone from Court of Wands in some time. Come out here, boy."
I motion to the others to just like come care, like ease up, just to come. I walk forward though.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So you see this old man, this old penitent, and standing now, you couldn't see them when you were in the bushes, but as you come out, standing behind him, there are two young, not like kids, but they're like late teens, probably, like just barely adults. They're it's hard to tell if they're what their gender is from this distance, because they both have their heads are shaved, and they have robes that, aside from the few inches from the ground, are like kind of an ivory color, like off-white, but the hem of the robes is dirty. It's all like brown and gray. But they seem to be the sort of same robes as the old man, just not as beat up.
Yeah.
They both also have the little like satchels. One of them is holding a water skin.
Okay. So Velimir approaches and says, "They're standing around the statue. Is that what this is?"
Yeah. They're just kind of like sitting or standing, or they were sitting anyway. They're standing now around the foot of the statue.
Velimir just addresses them all like, "How goes it? How are your travels?
How close do you want to get?
Probably about good 10, 15 feet away.
Okay, so you stop. All right.
Keeping a measured distance, but
Do we see Velimir approach with like weapons drawn? Max, I
don't
guess
think
this
so.
question for you. Max.
My Velimir is just resting on his like, on his sword.
Okay.
Not threatening, but just letting him know this is the way. Like,
All right.
I'm figuring you out.
Yeah, by seeing Velimir do that, I sheathe the scimitar, but I keep like one hand on its hilt and advise Baron to do the same as we walk towards the statue.
I advise Twee to stay with her brother a little bit behind us, just in case.
Yeah, she looks back like over her shoulder at the road and casts like a quick glance at all the bushes, like she's looking for lantern bugs, and then runs up behind you. So as you approach, the old man says to you, Velimir, he kind of leans back in surprise and he says, I was right. And a Genasi too. Pleased to meet you, boy. And he like steps towards you with his like his hand out. Actually, I guess he would bow. He steps towards you to get like within a closer distance. And yeah, when he gets within like a more respectable conversational distance, he like bows deeply to you. And he says, my name is Pale Sunlight Through Mist. And he kind of grins. And he says, well, that's not my name. It's my title. I gave my name up a long time ago. These are my disciples, Nisei and Fala. And both of them kind of like look. I think one of them, he doesn't point to either one. So one of them's named Nisei and the other one's named Fala. And it's impossible to tell which is which.
Yeah.
And one of them is looking at you like, what the fuck is that thing? And the other is trying really hard not to look at you like, what the fuck is that thing? And so they're like looking at the ground or the trees or being really interested in their fingernails.
As I see them like that, I just kind of motion to them a little bit with my head and just go, take a look.
Yeah. And he chuckles, Pale Sunlight chuckles, and he says, they're just children yet. They've barely been out of the town for more than a few days. We're taking a walk through the village and these areas, attending to folk. I serve the hanged man. And he kind of gives you a look up and down. Do you have your magisterial like a badge? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He sees it and kind of like clucks his tongue and he's like, a magistrate. It's a court of swords, no less. How unusual. You're far from home, Fire Genasi.
This is correct.
And this is when I think your friends kind of like come into sight, and he smiles and he says, and not alone. And at this point, this is when Baron, you and I guess Twee and Samnung and Zafira, you all see this old man and his disciple.
Okay, we turn the corner. And Velimir, you have a new friend. Please introduce us.
I do not know a friend, but someone, yes. And then this is because I forgot his name, fucking weird ass name.
Pale White Moon, right?
Pale,
something like that.
His name is Pale Sunlight Through Mist. For short.
Okay. Do you just screw up his name and then he tells us his proper name?
Well, yeah. What does that look like? So when you say this is,
I don't know how to say his name. What is your name?
he laughs and puts his hands up. He says, "It's a bit of a mouthful, I know. I'm called Pale Sunlight Through Mist. I'm a monk. I follow the hanged man." And he looks at you, Baron, and gives you like a polite nod, like he's respecting a peer.
Would I know the hangman?
Yes, anybody can make a religion check to know a little bit about the cult of the hangman.
It doesn't sound good.
I mean, yeah, it sounds a little scary.
I rolled a 17.
Yeah.
I got a 16.
Let me see. Religion.
That's right.
What the hell is religion?
Under skills, next to your stats.
Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom.
Nice.
Oh.
So
18.
y'all did really well. Yeah, 17, 16, and 18. So y'all know a fair amount about the hangman. So the hangman represents, as with all the arcana, a stage through one's life, right? The hangman stands between justice and death. And and represents letting go, having been through hardship, been judged for it, been seen for what you are, and exposed to the world. You move on from justice to the hangman, and the hangman is about giving up on the things that are holding you back. He's a power of the reversal of fate, of being given your just rewards, which can sometimes mean execution, right? Like the disciples of the hangman are the ones that pull the lever when you drop somebody. But it's also about sacrifice and martyrdom and of letting go of things that bind us to bad habits. It's sort of a catharsis cult. So the hangman is usually people that are drawn to the service of the hangman are people who either have nothing and so have nothing to lose, or who regret or have had a bad time because of the things they have. Sometimes rich people who feel really bad about shit they've done will give away all their riches and become disciples of the hangman.
Yeah.
It's good to see a fellow man of the faith on the road here.
He kind of gives you a look, and what's interesting about temperance is that temperance comes after death, right? The arcana flows from the hangman to death. Death is about endings and transitions. You have to die to be reborn, and temperance is on the other side. You are reborn more temperate. Most people who follow temperance have undergone some kind of hardship or trial that allows them to kind of see the reality of life. And so when he sees you, Baron, he smiles and nods slowly, and he bows to you, and he says, "It is good to see a friendly face on the road. Not so many of those these days, I think."
Indeed, my friend, indeed. There are many evils on the road that we ourselves have just come from.
And he looks at the two kids. He looks at Tui and Samnang, and looks at the three of you. And Baron, you can see immediately his thought is, whose kids are those? Because they're obviously none of yours. So he kind of like looks at Tui and Samnang and looks at you and kind of just raises like a bushy white eyebrow.
Oh, these kids. We are trying to take them to a place of safety. They unfortunately have been orphaned.
He shakes his head. What a shame. By what, if you don't mind my asking?
Unfortunately, the town down the road from here, something horrible has happened, and we are trying to get help to combat a great evil that is there.
One of his disciples, when you say that, a village down the road, like either Nisei or Fala, you still can't figure out which is which. One of them starts to say something and he puts his hands up like, shh, quiet. They're like, pale sunlight, and he puts his hands up like, shh. But you can't quite tell if he's like, shh, don't say that in front of them, or like, don't interrupt, grown-ups are talking.
Mm-hmm. So is it like trigger like something was off with that, or?
Yeah, maybe if you want to make an insight check, you can try to assess what that was about.
Okay.
Noting that Velimir
19, fuck.
19.
Velimir noting that the body language and stuff, and just like that he's saying, interprets it just like, no, go on. You are not being rude. But we'd love to hear.
He so Baron, the thing here is it's very much more on the like I'm trying to figure something out here, don't interrupt me. It's like more a train of thought thing, not a be rude thing. Yeah. And when you say that, Velimir, when you say that, he says to you, the old man, Pale Sunlight, says, my disciples must learn first to be quiet and to listen before they speak. And he sighs and he says, there have been signs in the area, influence, the Mara, something gone wrong in the swamps. Tell me, what did you see in this village?
Someone or something has animated the dead, and the river is full of a pink slime, and it seems anyone that drinks from or comes in contact with the slime rises and becomes the undead. And there's also a group of, I guess, mercenaries there amongst these undead, controlling what appeared like animated animated, emaciated men, and they are patrolling the village and harvesting bodies.
He shakes his head and says, then it is good that you are alive. Were there no other survivors? And he looks past you at the children.
These are the only two that were left in the village. We barely made it out with our lives.
And what do you plan to do now?
We need to find help in order to go back and find out what's happening and put it into it.
And you plan to do this in Sufontin? Find this help you're seeking?
Yes, we first need to find a safe place for these children here. And then we need to find help to go back to the village and with reinforcements.
He nods and he says, I've known magistrates in my time. Many, in fact. It was a time where they were more prevalent than they are now. Some goodly folk who sought to make things better. Others cruel taskmasters demanding bribes. I hope you're the good sort. The people of Sufontin have problems. If you've been in the jungle very long, you've encountered them. Filthy little creatures, covered in scales and fur.
Yes, we were actually attacked by them on the way here. They nearly killed my friend here, and I point to Velimir. They almost dragged him away.
He grins and looks at Velimir and he says, this one? No, he's too tough to be taken away by kobolds. Look at him, strapping young thing. I think it'll take more to extinguish that fire. And he grins at you, Velimir.
Velimir just kind of raises an eyebrow like...
So he says, he looks at the children and then looks at you, Baron. He says, if we did not have our holy task to complete, I would take them in myself. There are those in the village who have befallen similar fates. We teach them to let go of their past. Perhaps if we return to Sufontin, and he looks at them and he kneels down and gestures for Twee to come over. And Twee looks at you, Baron, is it okay?
Would you prefer I go with you, child?
She kind of puffs up a little bit. Just, no, it's fine. I can talk to a weird old man myself. She kind of walks past you. And the old man looks her up and down and looks at her armor and her weapons and stuff. And looks over at you, Zafira. And what did we determine your rank was, Captain? Corporal? Colonel? Something like that.
It was an officer, but it was whatever the highest rank. I think it was captain. Okay.
So
I'm not a general. I'm one below.
Sure.
So
yeah. He looks at
officers, captains. Yeah.
Yeah, and I actually think he recognizes you as an officer, but not as not your particular rank. So he looks at the girl and her armor and her weapons, and looks at you, and he laughs. Yeah, it was Colonel. So he laughs and he says, "Is she one of your soldiers, officer?"
I kind of look towards her and look back and say, "The girl is taken after the way I fight. It worked out in the end. There's nothing wrong with it."
He nods. These are dangerous times. It's good for even ones this young to know how to wield a machete. Though sad that we have no better for them. And he stands up and he kind of ruffles her hair and she pulls away and he says, I think we'll meet you again. Now, before I let you go on your way, and you notice that one of the disciples has pulled out an alms bowl, a flat wooden bowl, and the other has a little pot of ash or something in his hand, gray stuff. He says, I would be remiss if I did not offer you the letting go. Is there anything that he looks at the three of you, do not wish to carry with you any longer? And so this, you all ace that religion roll. So the letting go is kind of one of the more common rituals of the hanged man. It can be literal, so you can sacrifice money to the hanged man, right? He's asking for an offering. And in addition, it can be metaphorical, right? You can confess or tell him something you no longer want to remember or to carry with you, a burden that you no longer wish to have. And they have a ritual that supposedly allows you to sort of be purged of that, to let it pass through you. things like, I wish I wasn't so angry at another person, or I wish that I could let go of this time they wronged me, or I feel a sadness for what happened in my past. I would like to let it go.
Yeah. I think
So he's offering you that ritual.
Yeah. I think I immediately step forward and just say, like, ritual I have done way too many times. Please, sir. And I put a gold put it either into his hand or whatever I know the ritual to be.
Okay. Yeah. You put it in the bowl. The two disciples are humming kind of like a repeated like mantra, and the sound of it is a little like, I think everybody that can hear it, you feel like a little dizzy. Like it's not making you feel like sick or anything, but the sound of it is a little strange. It kind of is like a deep throat kind of hum. And you place the gold in the bowl, and he nods and dips his thumb into the ash, and places a daub of it at your throat, and he puts his arms around you like in a hug, like in an embrace. And the old man smells of like sandalwood and ash and stale sweat, and pulls you close so that you can your mouth is close to his ear. And you're meant to like whisper to him the thing that you want to let go. And I guess my question here is: do we, as the audience, is this a end of Lost in Translation situation? Do we see what Zafira says, or no? Do we just see you whisper?
I think in this situation, it's you just see the whisper. You don't hear what's said.
Right. So we see you lean in. We get a kind of far away shot, and we see your mouth moving, and then he nods and like holds you against him, and then the lights fade. We go to break.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Still got 1 hour left to go here in week number 3 of Court of Swords. If you missed the other 2 weeks, you can catch them right now on YouTube. But first, don't go anywhere. Still got an hour left. So you guys are going to come back from this break in about 5 seconds here on Twitch, or 24 hours, of course, if you are on YouTube. We'll see you then.